My name is Carey Anderson with Dade County. I do public information and relations, and I want to thank you for joining us today on the Dade County Weekly Update. Remember, you can type your questions in the comment section of Facebook during the live update. But if you don't want to ask your question during the live broadcast, you can always email us at info@dadecounty-ga.gov. Thank you so much for coming to the right place for the right information. Our guests today are Carolyn Hixon with the Board of Elections and Paula Duvall, our Chief Appraiser, as well as County Executive Ted Rumley. If you know anyone who would be interested in hearing from any of our guests today, go ahead and invite them to watch this live broadcast or start a watch party so you can hold your own discussion. Remember that you can also watch this later on Facebook or YouTube, and sharing the links to our videos is super easy. I do have a few announcements that I want to let you know about before we get started with our update. Rising Fawn Baptist Church is having a free clothes giveaway this Saturday, so that's the 26th, from 9 until 2 o'clock this Saturday. Their address is 4411 U.S. Highway 11 in Rising Fawn, Georgia. We do have that on our Facebook page, so you can check that out. Also, the Dade County Rec Football is holding sign-ups this Saturday, 6/26, from 9 to 1 at the football pavilion at the Dade County Sports Complex. The cost is $100 per child, plus a case of Coke or water. So if you have a child from 6th grade or up to 6th grade, they will be eligible to sign up. And they do ask that you bring a birth certificate for that child. So if you want to do that, they're doing that this Saturday. So I had somebody ask me a while back, why are you guys still doing a COVID update? Which I think is a really great question. So we still do our COVID update along with our weekly update every week. And of course, County Executive Rumley will be doing that COVID update today as usual. So here are some of the reasons we're still doing the COVID update. Number one, it's just to help us. We keep up with those numbers on a weekly basis, just like at the very beginning of COVID, just gave us a good indicator of what was coming and what was happening in the counties surrounding us so that we could keep an eye on it. Also, as many of you have heard or may have heard, there are many more variants now of COVID, including the Delta variant, which was the one that swept through India. It is becoming the predominant variant according to the CDC. So they are expecting that we will have a COVID season just like a flu season. So of course the flu doesn't typically hit in the summer. It does usually hit in the colder months. So we want to kind of see where things are now versus where they're headed when things do get a little bit colder. Hopefully, it won't be that problematic and they'll find a way to cure it altogether, but it's just a way to help us keep track of those numbers. So we do keep up with the numbers weekly so we can watch how it's trending and watch what's happening around us. It will help us not be surprised in case of a spike. So that is why we still continue to do the weekly COVID updates. Of course, if you don't want to hear that part, you can always watch us later instead of watching live, and you can fast forward through our YouTube videos and our Facebook videos. So just so you know that, we do have a YouTube video or YouTube channel at Dade County, Georgia, all spelled out. So thank you again for watching with us today. Right now, we'll hear from Carolyn Hixon with the Board of Elections.
It's been a few months since I was in here talking to you about elections, but here we go again. We discussed recounts, elections, state guidelines, but now we're going to talk about two elections on the same day. The city election will be on the same day as the county election, which is going to be November the 2nd. We're getting an early start because there will be time for the candidates that want to be in the election to have time to qualify, and then it takes time to send all of our information into the state where there are ballot builders. They have to have time to fix the ballots and get them back to us. Then we start our early voting. So actually we're not too early to do this, and it's time we talked about it. The city election is going to be for the commissioner of police and the parks and the recreation commissioner. Now there are two people that will be for each one of these, I'm sure. So there'll be reason for you to follow the news and keep up with who's running for what. The county election will be for the remainder of Alan Bradford's term. Alan was our longtime commissioner in the District 4 seat. That's in the north end of the county. At present, his daughter is occupying that seat, but an elected official must finish that term, and that term will end in 2024. This election is going to be called the general special election. The general part is for the city, and the city residents will come here and vote. We'll have our regular voting hours. It'll be a ballot that'll be designed for city-county use, and the city residents will vote for their 2 commissioners that are making the change. The special election is the part about Allen, and it will be for the people who are going to seek the commissioner's seat. The advance voting will be October the 12th. So we're getting ready to start to July, so it's not that far. But we'll begin October the 12th and end October the 29th. And with the new state guidelines, we are going to have mandatory 2 Saturday votes. The hours for the election this time will be from 9 to 5. In the past, they were from 8 to 5, but new state guidelines give us 9 to 5 so that you won't have to get up and be down here at 8 on those advance voting days to get in here and vote early. Election day will be from 7 to 7, and again, that's November the 2nd. For the county seat, Allen's seat, all precinct sites will be open, and they will be open on election day. If you want to do your advance voting for that, you will come down here and also vote here just like you have in the past. You just remember that the time's changed from 9 to 5. Now, for the qualifying notice for people who are thinking about running for these different offices, the qualifying fee is $120 for County Commissioner District 4. And you have certain days that you can qualify, 2.5 days. The first one is September the 20th from 8:30 to 4:30. The next one, September 21st, 8:30 to 4:30. And then the half day, September the 22nd, 8:30 to noon. And we have to close at noon to give time to get all this to the state for the ballots to be finished. If you come in at 12:01, I'm sorry, the doors close at 12. So if you're going to be qualifying, make sure you're here on those dates between those times for it to count. And if you need to call and find out any information, our office phone is 706-657-8170. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Carolyn. And for those of you who would like to hear more about that, Carolyn will also be on KWIN next Monday morning at 9:30 with us. So now we'll hear from Paula Duvall.
Good afternoon, everyone. I just wanted to go off what we've been talking about the last few times as far as the assessment notices and the appeal process. There's some dates that I want to go over that we do have a lot of questions on, a lot of phone calls on, sometimes a lot of issues that can arise as far as, paying the taxes and things like that. The first date I want to talk about is January the 1st. January the 1st is the tax date in Georgia. What that means is however the property sat January the 1st, whoever was the owner, whatever the acreage was, whatever was on that property, January the 1st, that is what will be reflected in the tax bill at the end of the year. So when you get that tax bill at the end of the year, you're paying taxes on what was on the property or whoever owned the property on January the 1st. That is why when we do our market analysis and our sales studies, we use the previous year's sales. So if we're doing the 2021 sales studies and market analysis, we're using 2020 sales because we can't use anything after January 1st of that year because of that tax date. And that is a Georgia tax day. That is not a county tax date. That is in the law and in the code and the statutes. January 1 is the tax date. So I just wanted to make that clear to everybody. If you sell your property on January the 5th, you're still going to get the tax bill at the end of the year. It's still going to be in your name for the whole year. And the new owner, you can come in and apply for your exemptions, but they will not be applied to that property until the next year when it does reflect in your name. So as far as during the year, our records will always show like a year behind. So just keep that in mind. that January 1st is the tax date. Now, let me go a little step further. If you do sell your property, normally when you sit down to a closing, you'll have a proration of the tax bill, or you pay from January to May, and then the buyer's responsible for the rest of the year. That's only on paper. Let me just make that clear. That is only on paper. Anything that is paid at closing toward a tax bill never actually goes to a tax bill. It never goes to the tax commissioner's office. It does not in any way pay a tax bill. So that's something that causes a lot of confusion between buyers and sellers, where at the end of the year, the previous owner as of January 1st gets the tax bill, but they'll call and say, well, I sold this and so, I paid this amount and the buyer was supposed to pay the rest. It never actually goes to a tax bill. So please keep that in mind if you are have any intention of selling your property, or you've just recently bought some property. Please keep in mind that the tax bill that comes out at the end of the year is for the entire year, for exactly how that property sat January the 1st. Whoever had the homestead exemptions, if there were any on January 1st, those exemptions will remain for that entire year. So that's something that we have a lot of questions about. A lot of issues come up about that. So I just wanted to make that clear, that anything you pay at closing is simply on paper. It's simply just a credit. It never actually goes to pay a tax bill. So if you have any additional questions on that, just give us a call. The next date I want to talk about is April the 1st. April the 1st is when the books actually close. That means after April 1st, you cannot apply for any homestead exemptions to count for that particular digest year. So April the 1st is when the deadline is for filing homestead exemptions, for filing conservation covenants, and for filing what's called a taxpayer's return of value. And we can talk about that return of value another day. But April 1st is the expiration date for all those particular items. Now, you can apply for exemptions year-round, but just keep in mind, again, the ownership thing. If you do not own it January 1st, your exemptions would apply the next year. Or if you apply after April 1st, those exemptions will not apply until the next year. The only thing that's a little different is conservation covenants. The state did allow about 4 or 5 years ago that during the appeal period, the 45-day appeal period, if you decide you wanted to apply for the conservation covenant, or if you did not get in by April 1st to renew your covenant, you have that 45-day period to file for a conservation covenant. So that is a little leeway they've given as far as after that April 1st date, but that's the only exemption you can apply for after the April 1st date, and it's only during that 45-day appeal period. So those were just some things I wanted to talk about today, some very important dates, things that maybe aren't very clear a lot of times. And like I said, we do get a lot of phone calls about this particular issue, especially when properties sell. So just keep these dates in mind. You'll see our website up here. I believe it's showing. Our website is www.qpublic.net/GA/Dade. That has all the property records on there. All the property records are public. You can pull up sales information. You can pull up a map. There's just a wealth of information on our website. So we encourage you to take a look at that. If you're interested in filing an appeal, take a look at the website, make sure everything's factually correct, take a look at your neighbors and things like that, and that'll give you a lot of information about the county and about the values we've set in the county. And you can call us anytime. We're open Monday through Thursday, 8 to 5, Friday, 8 to 2. Our phone number is 657-7563. No, I'm sorry, 657, I forgot our phone number.
706.
657.
657 up here.
6341. 6341. I was trying to give you the tax commissioner's phone number. My apologies. Our number is 657-6341. And anyone in our office can answer your questions, and we would really like to be able to talk to you. And again, the last day to file an appeal, if you do have the intention to do that, is July the 13th. Thank you.
I think it was your home number you gave them when to call. You sure? Y'all remember that now? We've got a few things here to talk about before I go into the COVID report. The I think we mentioned this last week, but Georgia Forestry, they've actually are changing the actual burn permits, the way you go as far as getting permits to burn small debris. And they're not requiring really a permit for that on small burns like leaves and stuff like that in your yard. They still do on if you're clearing, farmland or got large brush piles, and that will start. Is July the 1st, isn't that what they said in that when it takes effect, or the 15th?
I'm looking
Carey?
at it right now.
Yeah, I believe it's in July is when, there's a lot of things will actually.
It is July the 1st.
July the 1st. And if you have any questions, you can call your local forester and talk to them at the forestry, or you can go online. She's got that notification we got. We're still giving vaccinations downstairs. Just call by appointment, and also over at the Colonnade. They're doing actually 5 to 7. And right now, all they're giving over there, from what I understand, from what I'm reading here, is the Pfizer. Is that right? Pfizer, yeah. So, they're stayed open late for people that get off from work and to kind of try to accommodate them. Also, we do offer that down here too to children 12 and older, and just, be sure to call, for an appointment. And I think they're taking a few walk-ins, but you're kind of gambling if you go in there because you're going at the wrong time of the day. I got my second shot yesterday, and I had to call 2 or 3 times there to get to, because they were really busy. They had a lot of people coming in and out getting vaccinated. The Morganville Ridge Road, it's really going real well right now. They should have made the first pour today. Well, it'd be in the morning, I think. I don't think they would possibly get to, but they got the gravel in yesterday, and it's really right now, weather's working with us and all, and so it's moving right along. Hopefully we can give you a kind of an open date here in the next few weeks as things go on. Carey, well, I'm looking at some pictures right now. You got those online. The thing about it is we're doing the basic same construction as we did on County Road 6, except it's about a third smaller. It's not near as far as the wall up there we built. So hope the weather works with us, and we're working on that. Putting we're not working 24/7s on it, but we're putting in some long days building them on. CHI Memorial. Robert and I, the day before yesterday, went to it wasn't a ribbon cutting. It was an announcement because we've been talking about it for years. But there is going to be a new hospital. And I mean a full, the real deal over on 2A. Memorial, CHI Memorial is doing that, and it's going to be a massive undertaking. They've appropriated money, to do that, and so it'll be good for Northwest Georgia, good for Dade, Walker, and Gratuitous. The only thing I spoke over there at the event, and Robert went with me, as I said, but the only thing, that I find negative about it is it's not in Dade County. And of course, they picked that strategic location because it is on 2A, right down there from where Walmart's at on 2A, and we do have a mountain between us and them. But still, though, for those of you that your insurance, some insurance, they're strictly Georgia. They patronize the Georgia doctors and Georgia hospitals. Well, that's going to be really a benefit for that, and so we'll keep you up on that. But I think let me see. I think it's. Construction, they're going to try to start the construction in the spring of next year, 2022, and the targeted completion will be somewhere in 2024. So we look forward to that happening. We do have a public hearing actually to approve our budget tonight at 5 o'clock or this evening. That's right here in this room. We've worked real hard on the budget. Don, all the commissioners, Becca, and we're real satisfied with it, pleased with it. Appreciate everyone, our constitutional officers, our elected officials, and department heads working with us on it. We have balanced the budget, and so if you want to tune in and listen to that tonight, or you can come in here. It's open to the public. I will entertain the approval of that budget, and so that's at 5 o'clock here in the commission meeting room. Have I left anything out? Seems like I'm leaving something. Okay. We'll go into the COVID report here. Dade County right now, we're at 1,242. And the last week we were at 1,243. So how these numbers, it's so crazy, you know.
I know, and that is
Yeah.
correct. We
And I
did,
don't blame the person for asking, you know, why do you keep reporting? Because but now they're kind of varying, you know, and it's kind of strange. It's
well,
odd.
we did have variances in Dade, Catoosa, and Chattooga again this week, just like we did last week. And according to the Dade
Yep.
County, the Department of Public Health, Public Information Officer Logan Boss, the difference in the case numbers is due to the reassignment of cases
Yeah.
to other counties, just like we decided last week. So that's what's happening with those. So if you hear a number that goes down, it's because one of those was reassigned, or several of those were reassigned, or they just stayed the same. So
Well, we'll go, you know, a couple more weeks, and because I did get notification that the public health, our public health out of Rome, I got yesterday, I think it was, I got our last official report. You know, they've been
Yeah.
reporting every week, and so they're phasing that out too. So we'll talk about that, and then maybe in the next couple of weeks we'll see how it goes, you know. And
yeah, well, even if they phase theirs out, we get ours from different sources
We
as
do.
well. So we'll just keep right on tracking.
Yeah, and we'll see. But anyway, Walker County, they are at 6,749. Last week they were at 6,738. They've had 39 in the last 2 weeks report positive. Catoosa County, they're at 5,879 in Catoosa, and they were at 5,879, you know, last week. Chattooga County, they're at 2,256 today, and they were at 2,260 last week, which is not, it's kind of reversed, but anyway, it's kind of hard to understand that in a way. But move down to Tennessee, Hamilton County, they're at 45,374 positive cases since the beginning of the pandemic, and last week they were at 45,305. Right now, as we speak, they have 123 active cases in Hamilton County. They've had 507 deceased. Marion County, they're at 3,230 in Marion County, and last week they were at 3,230. They only have 3 active cases in Marion County. Move down to Alabama. They have, in Jackson County, they have 6,993 in Jackson County positive cases today. They were at 6,922 last week. They've had 113 deaths, and they've had, now this is a pretty big jump right here in Jackson County because they're close to us. They've had 90 cases report positive in the last 14 days.
That is a big jump. In fact,
That's a big
last
jump.
week when we reported, they only had 33 new cases in the past 2 weeks.
That's a big jump. So, you know, they're right. So it's still active. Believe me, it's still out there. And Jackson County is just here, right here, joining us on the mountain. The DeKalb County, they're at 8,978 positive today, and they were at 8,967. They've had 190 deaths, and they've only had 7 cases test positive in the last 14 days. You know, there's bound to be a reason for that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big jump, and you know, there's got to be something happen or something, you know, that's a lot. But as I said, you know, it's still out there. Try to not let your guard down. If you haven't had your vaccination, which a lot of people hadn't, a lot of people don't want to get it, and that's up to them. But I would still try to wear my mask in big crowds, especially in close confinement. And you know, and if you feel like it, you know, try to keep distances. You know, I mean, it's just there's definitely, it's still out there. And so if you've got any questions, please call me at 667-8999, area code 423, or 657-4625. That's the office number. And as I always say, our commissioners, their numbers are readily available online, and you know, they do call you back or they will answer their phone. So we got any questions?
No questions.
Okay. Appreciate everyone working with us on it, and we'll see you next week, same time. Thank you.